After the first night game of the spring last night, we are back to having baseball under the sun at Camelback Ranch, where this afternoon Sportsnet LA presents the Los Angeles Dodgers against the Kansas City Royals. We welcome you inside. I am John Hartung alongside Jerry Hairston Jr. We'll see Kenta Maeda making his third start of the spring this afternoon, hopefully going 4 innings. But after Kenta Maeda, Jerry, at some point we will see Kenley Jansen for the first time in this Cactus League.
Good to see the Kenley Jansen back on the mound. He'll probably throw about 15 to 20 pitches, kind of get his feet wet a little bit.
We're going to see a few guys in the Dodgers lineup today who did start last night as well, so they get a chance to play a day game after a night game for the first time since last season at some point. Jock Peterson's another guy who's in the lineup today, Jerry, battling for a spot on this roster.
Yeah, because Matt Kemp is having an outstanding camp. You know he's probably going to make this team. Jock Peterson needs to have a great spring because we know Tolles is having a great spring as well.
It is the second of 4 meetings between these two teams, the Dodgers and Kansas City Royals. We'll have the lineups for you and first pitch right after this.
Fresh from uniquely LA.
Great to have Ron Cey in uniform with the Dodgers this week and a guest instructor. There he is talking to another great third baseman in the 70s and 80s, George Brett, the Hall of Fame third baseman of the Kansas City Royals. Both of those guys, spectacular players in their day. Beautiful afternoon here in Glendale, 79 degrees at first pitch. Let's take a look at the Kansas City Royals lineup that Kenta Maeda will be dealing with today. You'll notice not as many regulars as you would normally see. This is a split squad game for the Kansas City Royals. The other half of their team is over in Surprise playing today. You see Whit Merrifield, the American League stolen base leader from a season ago, leading off. A couple of guys that just signed with the Royals a couple of weeks ago, Michael Saunders and Lucas Duda, and then Tyler Collins, Jorge Bonifacio, and anytime we can say Cheslor Cuthbert is a good day. Kenta Maeda on the mound for the Dodgers, making his third start of the spring. And Jerry, Dave Roberts says hopes to get 4 innings out of Maeda today.
Yeah, you're looking to see if Maeda is sharp today. This is a third start here. Hopefully he has pretty good command of all his pitches. Not an overpowering pitcher. Sometimes will pitch from behind with that curveball or that slider. Hopefully he is sharp.
He's allowed just 1 run so far in his first 2 starts of Cactus League play. 4 1/3 innings. 4 strikeouts, 1 walk. You see that more aggressive approach from Kenta Maeda, something that he became comfortable with pitching out of the bullpen late last year for the Dodgers and in the postseason as well. First pitch of the game is a strike to Whit Merrifield.
Merrifield, known for his speed, but showed some pop last year with 19 home runs.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, misses, 1-1. Merrifield, 29 years of age. Led the American League in stolen bases with 34. It's the fewest stolen bases to lead the American League since the early 1960s. There's Maeda's 1-1. This is downstairs, 2-1.
Maya, has the game changed? Speed is kind of, you like speed in your ball club. They don't utilize it with the stolen base anymore. They want station to station, swing for the fences.
Here's Maeda's 2-1 pitch. 3-1. See Merrifield having a very good spring so far for the Royals. As the leadoff hitter. Leads this one off. Pop fly foul, out of play. Count goes full.
Maeda got in on him a little bit, broke his bat. Merrifield a little disgusted with himself. Maybe there's a lot of hits in that bat.
Not anymore. Needs a new piece of wood.
If your bat's going to die, you prefer die hero by getting a knock. Wasted foul ball.
And Kenta Maeda just happy to be back in the rotation. Obviously he was last year for most of the season. But with his contract being incentive based on innings and starts made, he does not want to be pitching out of the bullpen. Here's the payoff pitch to Merrifield. Swatted foul. We'll do it again.
And Johnny wants the opportunity to swing the bat. His first career started as a Dodger at Petco Park. He went deep, electrifying the crowd there. He wants to go deep in the show. He can't do that pitch out of the bullpen.
This is true. His second at bat in the big leagues went deep in San Diego. Hasn't homered since.
Nah.
He still loves to swing the bat. 3-2 pitch again to Merrifield. Driven to right field, hit well, and that ball is gone. It's a leadoff home run by Whit Merrifield, going the other way. You talked about that impressive power, 19 home runs a season ago, Jerry, and he goes the opposite way.
A little oppo taco by Merrifield, and you know what? With his speed, Maeda challenged him a 3-2 count. Let's see the pitch here. Up in the zone, away, but really good bat path, great extension. Is that Jeffrey Mayer out there making that play?
It was close.
We need a little review on that.
No reviews during spring. These games are long enough. Players will tell you.
Jeffrey Mayer able to get over the fence. Nice catch
close
there. He's about the same age as Mayer now. Mayer would be what, 28, 30 now?
He turned into a pretty good player in college from what I remember. Here's Michael Saunders. Just signed with the Royals a couple weeks ago. Maeda behind 2-0. It was an interesting story. He signed with the Pirates on February 21st, but then the next day the Pirates acquired Corey Dickerson, and Saunders asked for his release, and then a day later he ended up signing a minor league deal with the Royals. So here he is. 2-0.
If you're a player like Saunders, you kind of look at the landscape of ball clubs and say, listen, I need to get at bats. I'm still young enough to play in the big leagues just about every day. Feels he has a really good chance here to stick with the Royals.
There's the 3-0 pitch. That's a 4-pitch walk. So Maeda not as sharp as he'd like to be at the start of this one, giving up a leadoff home run to Whit Merrifield. Follows that with a 4-pitch walk to Saunders. And Lucas Duda will check in. Another guy who just signed with the Royals a couple weeks ago. 32 years of age. Former Trojan, went to USC, drafted in the 7th round by the Mets in 2007. We were talking about this before the game. Jerry Lucas Duda signed a $3.5 million deal with the Royals. And then just yesterday, the Royals were able to sign Mike Moustakas, who hit 38 home runs last year, for $5.5 million with a $1 million buyout. It's amazing.
Amazing what's going on in the free agent market this offseason.
There's a strike 1-1. And Moustakas hit those 38 home runs last year. It's a franchise record. Duda hit 217 last year. He did hit 30 home runs in his time between the Mets and the Rays. And one catches the corner again, 1-2.
The Mets became, frustrated with Duda because they saw the potential, the talent. He had a good year, then he'd have a not so good year. A lot of strikeouts. That average hovering around 200. Want a little bit more contact out of Duda.
Able to hold up. He was. Count goes 2-2.
And the Royals, on the other hand, are looking to catch, hopefully, lightning in the bottle with Duda. And they lost their first baseman to the the Padres. Signed a record deal for the Padres. Eric Hosmer, really good first baseman. Hopefully, the Royals are looking for Duda to at least duplicate the power.
Speaking of duplicating, the Dodgers are hoping to duplicate what the Kansas City Royals did in 2015. 2016. Royals. Down goes Duda. Maeda gets him on a fastball upstairs, one away. Royals won the World Series in 1985. 29 years later, they made it back to the World Series for the first time, lost in 7 games at home. Came back the following year, 30 years removed from their previous World Series championship, and they won it all. Dodgers hoping to do the same here in 2018. 30 years since Orel Hershiser and Kirk Gibson, and the unlikeliest of World Series champions, won the title in '88.
They had the right mindset, the Royals did that year. Understanding, yes, tough loss in Game 7, but we had to come back and fight and get back to the World Series, and obviously they won it.
This is Tyler Collins at the plate, lifting one. Foul territory. That's going to get into the seats in the first row.
That Royals team had great leaders, Kane, Hosmer. They're now elsewhere, but look at the Dodgers. They have the right leadership in that clubhouse. Justin Turner, Chase Utley, Clayton Kershaw, Kenley Jansen, Matt Kemp now back in the mix. So these guys definitely have the right leaders to kind of push the young guys along.
Catch it, Jerry. You're not even close. 1-2 the count now to Tyler Collins. Just came over, signing with the Royals after spending several years in the Tigers organization. Having a nice spring.
And if you're Maeda here, he's thrown a lot of pitches so far this inning. He's looking for that ground ball here. Inning-ending double play.
He's given up the solo home run here. Walked a batter. If you remember last year, his struggles really happened in the first inning. His ERA was close to 7 in the first inning. Something he wants to change this year. Get off to a faster start. Here's the 1-2 pitch. And on the dirt, 2-2.
And that's usually the case with especially elite pitchers. If you're a hitter, you want to get these guys early, because they haven't found their rhythm yet. If you can get a couple runs here early in the first, second inning and hopefully knock them out of the game. And pitchers, somewhat more than others, have a hard time finding that rhythm in that first inning.
Two pitch fouled away. And Dave Roberts said before the game, the plan was for Kenta Maeda to go 4 innings today. Saw Alex Wood a dominant 4 innings last night against the Indians, but Maeda's pitch count is worth noting at this point, 21, with 1 out in the first. 2-2 pitch. Got a piece. Staying alive.
You mentioned that 4 innings for Maeda. You got Rick Honeycutt over there with Dave Roberts. They're looking at the bullpen. You want to make sure, yeah, you want that 4 innings, but he's on a pitch count too now. You're looking to build his arm strength for the season.
There's the ground ball you talked about, Jerry. That's 4-6-3. Double play. Kenta Maeda gets a badly needed twin killing to get out of this top of the first inning, but the Royals get a run on the solo home run by Whit Merrifield. Dodgers coming to bat next. Camelback Ranch, the Royals with a 1-0 lead on the solo home run by Whit Merrifield. Dodgers lineup for today: Chase Utley is going to lead it off. He played last night, as did Corey Seager, Justin Turner at Matt Kemp. All 4 of them played in the night game against the Indians. They're playing a day game after a night game. Yasmani Grandal behind the plate, Logan Forsythe at second, Jock Peterson playing center field today, Trace Thompson in right, and Donovan Solano at short. On the mound for the Royals, that is Scott Barlow. Spent the previous 7 years in the Dodgers organization. Drafted by the Dodgers out of Golden Valley High School in Santa Clarita. He falls behind Chase Utley 2-0.
Golden Valley sounds like a magical place.
Golden Valley Grizzlies out in Santa Clarita, in the same conference as high school my daughter goes to. There's the 2-0 to Utley. It's a strike on the outside corner, 2-1.
Good to see Chase Utley playing again today. Day game after a night game. Played second base last night for roughly 5 innings. Now he gets a chance to play first base.
There's the 2-1 pitch. It's lifted to right field and hit well, but not well enough. It's caught by Bonifacio for out number 1. Tell Utley starting to swing the bat better. He was 1 for his first 17 this spring and a couple of hits last night. Just missed that one right there.
Really had a good path of the ball right there, just off the end of the bat. Just missed from going deep.
There's Corey Seager once again, the DH. He was the designated hitter last night over in Goodyear. Get a chance to start at shortstop Monday for the first time.
You know, Corey Seager, hasn't played defense yet. He really hasn't started swinging the bat the way he is capable of, but you don't worry about that. You know Corey Seager, once the season starts, he will be locked in.
It's a strike, 2-1. 2 for 16 this spring. Again, all as a designated hitter. That's not something that is necessarily easy to get used to if you're an everyday position player.
You know what? It's hard for veteran guys to DH. You know, used to playing the field. It took David Ortiz, one of the best DHs ever, to really kind of find his way when he got put in that DH role for the Red Sox, and obviously the rest is history. Take some time.
2-2 pitch misses. Count goes full to Seager. It's chopped foul. An all-star for the second year. His second full big league season. Rookie of the year in 2016. Was third in the MVP balloting as a rookie as well. And Barlow gets him with a breaking ball for out number 2.
The 3-2 pitch. Corey's probably sitting on that fastball. Breaking ball breaks just under his bat. Sometimes you tip your cap to the pitcher.
Here's Justin Turner. Those numbers from last year, 322. He's third in the National League batting race. Hitting 300 this spring with a couple of homers. First pitch from Barlow is on the corner for strike 0-1.
You know, you always love the production out of Justin Turner, but he just seems to come up big every time you need a big hit late in the game. Does it in the postseason as well.
He has a knack for that. Barlow ahead 0-2.
Justin realizing that he's getting a little bit older now. He really takes care of his body. Special diet in the offseason.
He's lifted to shallow center field. That's going to drop in for a base hit for Justin Turner. 2-out single for the Dodgers here in the bottom of the first.
I know it's spring training, but you will take those knocks right there. Didn't square it up, but threw his hands at it. Nice little lob wedge onto the green. The Red Dream on with a knock.
Put the ball in play with 2 strikes. Anything can happen. JT, one of only a small handful of guys that had more walks last year than strikeouts. Here's Matt Kemp. Doubled and walked last night against the Indians. Barlow starts him with a strike. He's hitting .333 this spring with 3 home runs, 6 RBIs.
I got a chance to talk to Matt Kemp before games started in spring training. He felt that he was already locked in. He felt that he was going to have a good spring.
Well, he's going to have fun tonight. He's taking some of the young guys over to a nearby rodeo. And he and Justin Turner bought hats, boots, some cowboy gear, and they had a little fashion show this morning during their meeting.
So a ranch, huh?
That's right.
Well, Matt is from Oklahoma.
Midwest City, Oklahoma. Not sure how many rodeos he took in when he was in Oklahoma growing up.
I know Justin Turner and Matt are on the gram. Hopefully they take a lot of pictures and post them.
The 1-1 from Barlow. Chopped to short. They go the short way to get Justin Turner at second. Nothing for the Dodgers in the bottom of the first. A single and 1 left on base. 1-0 Royals as we head to the second.
Is your
Royals have a 1-0 lead after the first inning of play. You see some people there picking up some goodies at the concession stands. Jerry Hairston Jr. second day in a row crushing a burger. That's a healthy bite right there.
It is. You know, we're at the ballpark, John, and you know what? It's so important to put on some weight so you have next week to kind of work it off. Carbs are important some of the time.
Not exactly the same 15 pounds that Cody Bellinger added during his offseason.
Wait a second now. Wait. Come on now. You've seen.
I've seen you post on the gram all your workouts.
Posts on the gram and how I get after it. Boxing, throwing weight around.
Jorge Bonifacio leads things off in the top of the second for the Royals. Kenta Maeda quickly ahead 0-2.
When you have 4% body fat, John, you can afford to have a hamburger or two.
Who are you talking about with 4% body fat? One and two to Bonifacio, 24-year-old. Hit 17 home runs last year in his rookie season with the Royals. 384 at bats. But Maeda takes care of him for out number one in the top of the second.
Really good movement here on this pitch by Kenta Maeda. Always wants to work down in the zone. That little changeup slash split falling off the table.
Much better start to the second inning for Kenta Maeda. Now he'll face Cheslor Cuthbert. It's fun to say. Takes a healthy hack at that one upstairs.
Cheslor Cuthbert. You know, that kind of sounds like a knight. You know, back in the day, you know, in England they had those knights. Cheslor. I like that.
Maeda quickly head 0-2. Cheslor Cuthbert.
That's right. I like the accent.
Here's the 0-2 pitch.
It kind of sounded like Sean Connery when you said that too, with some emphasis.
Distinguished.
Yeah, he is.
Here's the 1-2 to Cuthbert. Fooled on that one badly. It's back-to-back strikeouts for Kenta Maeda here in the second.
It's amazing how veteran pitchers, when they get ahead in the count, they know how to put these guys away. Maeda, once again, great movement on that changeup, falling off the table. After throwing 23 pitches that first inning, he knows he needs to kind of limit his pitches here in the second.
8 pitches to get the first 2 outs of the inning. 1-0 to Nicky Lopez, young shortstop for the Royals. Finished second in the Arizona Fall League in batting average just a few months back. Of course, the team has Alcides Escobar. Probably playing at home today for the Royals. Split squad. And it's 2-1. When you're a veteran player, you get to choose, Jerry, whether you go on the road or whether you stay home.
The young bucks have to travel. The veteran guys get to stay at home.
Maeda's 2-1 to Nicky Lopez. It was lifted to right center field. Trace Thompson is there. It's a quick 1-2-3 second for Kenta Maeda. Dodgers coming to bat, chasing one here in Glendale. Dodgers taking their swings here in the bottom half of the second inning. Yasmani Grandal leading it off against Scott Barlow.
A slimmed down Yasmani Grandal.
Made some changes to his body, made some changes to his swing as well. Focusing more on that launch angle. Takes a strike, 2-1. Has 3 hits this spring in 22 at bats. 2 of those 3 though have left the yard. 1 from the left side and 1 from the right side. Count even at 2.
Yasmani Grandal, known for his power. Very rare to have a power hitting catcher.
That one's grounded to first. It's an easy play for Lucas Duda. LA Dodger baseball from spring training is always live with MLB at bats. The app will keep you connected every day with live radio calls, video highlights, stats, breaking news, and more. Download MLB at Bat now. It is your #1 Dodger app. One away for Logan Forsythe. Having an outstanding spring so far. 7 for 14, a couple of home runs, 6 RBIs. Seemingly picking up right where he left off in the postseason last year.
A bit of a down year for Logan Forsythe last year, hitting below 230. But you mentioned, John, he had an outstanding postseason. Veteran guy, he understands you're going to have some years where it's not there. I think he has a big bounce back year in 18.
It's one on the ground to short. That's Lopez. Across to Duda, quickly 2 away in the bottom of the second. Scott Barlow, the young kid, on the mound for the Royals, making his first start of the spring, perhaps with something to prove today against the team that let him go after 7 years in the organization. Jerry, you talked about it in the open. Jock Peterson. It's a big spring for him, battling for a spot on this roster.
And hopefully, he had a big postseason last season as well, and hopefully kind of carries that over to this season. A lot of talent in that body.
Fouls one off. Hitting 160 this spring, 4 for 25. 1 home run. In most cases, the stats don't matter for veteran players, but if it's between you, Andrew Tolles, maybe a Kyle Farmer for 1 spot, I imagine you have to produce here.
Absolutely. Look at the at-bats there. He's leading the team with 25 at-bats so far. They want to see him really have a good spring. They know Matt Kemp. They know what he can do when healthy. They know what Andrew Tolles can do when healthy as well. They want Jock Peterson to really show he can play every day.
Takes one down, 2-1. It was a forgettable year last year for him as we look at Andrew Tolles, who's had a very good spring for the Dodgers, coming off a torn ACL last May. Two and 2 to Jock. But Jock Peterson hit that grand slam on opening day last year. Everything was looking great. Had hit the skids in August. Was sent down to AAA. Came back and only hit 105 in September. Goes down on strikes here. They complete the out at first base. Dodgers go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the second. 1-0 Royals after 2. And by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers or visit SoCalBMW.com. Top of the third here in the Valley of the Sun. Kenta Maeda back to the mound facing old friend Drew Butera. Catching today for the Royals.
You know, John, the kids call him Booty. I guess you could say he's the J-Lo of Major League Baseball. He doesn't look like J-Lo to me.
They're reaching now. That's a strike, 1-1. He's caught a couple no-hitters in his career. One of them, Josh Beckett's in Philadelphia. Caught one when he was with the Twins as well.
Also a World Series champion with this Royals ball club.
Not only that, he caught the final strike. It was a strikeout to end it. He was the man behind the plate. He's had some pretty good moments, even though he hasn't been a regular for most of his career. Called out on strikes to begin the top of the third inning. Didn't like that call. Kenta Maeda will take it.
Fastball. May have caught the corner.
Or may have just been a good job framing by Yasmani Grandal. Something he does very well.
Something all our catchers really focus on is pitch framing. Austin Barnes has gotten a lot better at that.
Here's Nick Deeney. Hit over 300 last year, the minors, and has himself a base hit here with one out in the third. First ball swinging there. And it's a one-out base runner.
Nick not wasting any time, gets a fastball he can handle, rifles it up the middle for a base hit. Something Nomar Garciaparra would have been proud of.
Yes, he would have.
Why wait? If you get that first pitch fastball in the zone, barrel it up.
Back to the top of the order for the Royals. Whit Merrifield led off the game. Opposite field home run. Impressive player. 29 years of age now. Definitely consider him a late bloomer. Curveball for a strike, 0-1. Last year was his first full season in the major leagues. Down in the dirt, 1-1. Top of the first inning. Whit Merrifield did this. Had a fastball up and away. Drove it out. Little help from the Jeffrey Mayer-like catch by the fan. And that's where we stand right now. 1-0 Kansas City.
And even though he's a second baseman, he has a little bit of Aaron Rowan, the old White Sox center fielder, Phillies center fielder. Not tall in stature, but really strong.
1-1 pitch. That one's hit hard into left field for a base hit past the diving Justin Turner. Back-to-back singles with one out for the Royals here in the third.
And that's what speed does. Justin Turner has to respect his speed. Merriweather's. He's up in on the grass.
Did you say Merriweather?
Did I say Merriweather? Merrifield. Oh man, I got boxing in my brain. I've been hit too many times.
A little punch drunk.
A little bit. Merrifield. Excellent ball striking right there. We need to talk some Merriweather though later on in the telecast.
We'll have time. 2 on 1 out from Michael Saunders, who walked his first time up on 4 pitches.
And we got Canelo and Triple G coming up again.
Who you got in that fight?
I'm going to go with Canelo. Boy, but Triple G can take a punch, though. I'll give him that.
He's got a chin. The 1-0 to Saunders. This is downstairs, 2-0.
Again, Maeda in a jam. First and second, only one out. Veteran hitters like Saunders, Duda. 3-4.
Saunders looking to have a bounce back year. He was an all-star in 2016 with the Blue Jays, hit 24 home runs. Last year really fell off, hit 202. Chops this one to first. That's a fair ball. They get the out at first as Utley steps on the bag. The runners advance to second and third. 2 away.
And Chase Utley only had 1 play there. Take the out at first base. You don't want to risk throwing to second, force something that's not there. Get the out. Now there's 2 outs.
Lucas Duda, strikeout victim his first time up. Maeda trying to get out of this little jam with runners in scoring position with 2 down. These are all practice games, Jerry. This is good practice for any pitcher to escape jams like this with runners in scoring position.
Absolutely. You know, a lot of veteran pitchers want to pitch from the stretch in these games to kind of force them to make pitches. And you see big league hitters early on in camp take a lot of pitches. Hopefully they get to 2 strikes to start battling, get used to that for the season.
Gets the strike call there, 1-1. Maybe this is a situation where he can kind of lean on some of that experience as a reliever. Smaller margin of error. In the postseason last year, pitching out of the bullpen, his ERA 0.84. 135 batting average against, gave up just 1 run in 10 2/3 innings. He was fantastic.
I always love listening to Oral Hershiser talk about pitching. And when you're a starter, you know, you go out there and pitch, you locate, but when there's runners in scoring position, then you try to find that extra gear to get out of these tough jams.
It's a strike. Looked like a good pitch to hit. Duda watched it go by. It's 2-2.
You hear Maeda on that fastball grunt from way up here.
Reaching back for a little bit extra. But we saw that velocity when he was pitching out of the pen. It reached levels we didn't know he had. He taps 1 to first. Chase Utley back-to-back plays for the Silver Fox, stepping on the bag. And Maeda does get out of that little jam here in the top of the 3rd. 1-0 Royals after 2.5. Won 5 games, an ERA of close to 5.5. It was an injury-plagued season for him last year. Making his 3rd appearance of this spring. He'll be facing Trace Thompson to lead things off here in the bottom of the 3rd. Trace 5 for 16 this spring. And He hates it every time we put up his numbers from last year. He wants to forget all about 2017. It was a nightmare. Those were his numbers at AAA. Hit 122 as a member of the Dodgers. Has himself a base hit here to lead off the bottom of the third.
You know, talking to Trace a little bit last year, you know, getting over that back injury he had the year before. Anybody knows if you're an athlete or a former athlete, that back is really hard to get over. A nice swing there by Trace Thompson. Leadoff base hit.
Donovan Solano is the starting shortstop this afternoon. Corey Seager still in the DH role. 30-year-old out of Colombia. Takes a ball. Has spent part of 5 different seasons in the big leagues, mostly with the Marlins. Had 9 games with the Yankees a couple years ago. Had a good rookie season with the Marlins in 2012. Hit 295, but after that, the offensive production really fell off. And here he is, 30 years of age, trying to keep the dream alive.
You know, it's amazing, John. I remember growing up as a kid, I'd ask my dad, you know, how hard is it to get to the big leagues? He says it's very hard, but you know what's harder? Staying in the big leagues. That's the hard part. You know, you talk about his rookie year, hit above 290, trying to find that again.
It's 2-0 to him.
When they get a book on you, when they know how to attack you, they try to exploit it. And it's hard to make those adjustments throughout the course of your career.
He's hitting .313 this spring. 3 doubles. 4 RBIs. Fouls one back, 2-1. As you guys say all the time, just when you think you have the game figured out, it'll humble you.
Amazing. Prince Fielder, I played with him in Milwaukee, used to always say, hey, don't love this game because it'll kick you in the teeth. Say that all the time.
Brian Flynn taking too much time. There's a line shot. That's into left field for a base hit. Solano with a single after Trace Thompson had singled. Dodgers in business here in the bottom of the third. Let's take a look at the Carl's Cam replay. Solano goes down and gets that one. Jerry lines it into left for a base hit.
I love the rhythm and timing of the swing right there. That ball's a little bit away from him, able to get the barrel to it, drive it in for a base hit to left field.
It's a 2 on, nobody out for Chase Utley, the ageless one, 39 years of age.
And the Royals outfielder showing the Silver Fox some respect, playing deep.
Lifts that one foul off to the left and out of play. Chase Utley's value is not going to be found necessarily at this stage of his career in that stat line. What he means in that clubhouse, leadership, is invaluable.
And if you're Chase Utley, a veteran guy, these are the at-bats that you want. You're not going to get 50 at-bats in spring training because, like you mentioned, John, he's 39 years young, but you want a lot of at-bats with runners in scoring position. You know, getting used to the at-bats you'll have during the season. Asked to pinch hit in these type of situations.
Showing his versatility once again today, playing first base. Last night at second. Played shortstop in high school. When he got to UCLA, they moved him to second. His coach says, with your arm, it's a little too long of a throw for you from short. They moved him over to second. It's worked out awfully well.
Worked out really well. I mean, some can make a case. Future Hall of Famer. And he played in a lot of big games, a World Series champion. I know when we played him against the Phillies when he was a part of that team in '09. 5 home runs in that World Series in a losing effort.
Yeah, he was as locked in as he can possibly be both of those years. 6-time All-Star. 2 1s grounded foul. Spent 13 seasons in Philadelphia. Huge fan favorite there, nicknamed the Man. Was actually drafted, though, by the Dodgers out of high school, out of Long Beach Poly in 1997 in the second round. He chose to go to UCLA and then was a first-round pick 3 years later by the Phils.
And he admits that this offseason, his negotiating with the Dodgers, he said, listen, it's either you guys or I'm retired. So the 29 other teams were out. He really loves it here in LA, loves the guys, loves to be a part of this group. More importantly, he says he wants to be a part of this group that wins a championship.
Absolutely. That's why he came back. Wants another run at it. And he would love to do it for his hometown team. An excuse me swing, and that's a base hit into left field. Here comes Trace Thompson around third to score. We're knotted at 1. Save those for the regular season.
Absolutely. When you're a veteran guy like Chase Utley, you try to keep your hands back, but then fire them. You're going to see here on the replay, he keeps his hands back and then, oops, look away. The no-look knock to left field with an RBI. That's why they call him the Silver Fox.
It's the old saying, it's going to look like a line drive in that scorebook.
Looking like Magic Johnson back in the day. No look, pass, knock.
Here's Corey Seager. Struck out his first time up against Scott Barlow. As great as that feels for the hitter, that's got to be demoralizing for a pitcher. Give up something like that. It's up under the chin, 1-1.
Yeah, we don't really feel sorry for pitchers, John. Not up here.
What do you call them? Kickers? Punters?
Same thing. Clayton Kershaw's not a kicker, though.
There's a ground ball right side. Merrifield goes to second for 1. Back to first. They get the double play. Quickly, 2 outs after 3 consecutive singles.
Pretty impressive here. When Farda is left throwing a strike to a shortstop. 4-6-3. Good as it gets.
Ryan Flynn trying to limit the damage here in the third. Justin Turner singled his first time up. Pop fly single that dropped in right center. Good cut at that one, 0-1.
You know, I love how Justin Turner took it personally last year. You remember in 2016, the Dodgers did hit left-handed pitching well. Him and a few other guys took it very personally and said, you know what, we're going to attack these left-handed pitchers. And they all had successful seasons.
Yeah, he went from 209 against lefties in 2016 to 380 last year. And he was always a reverse splits guy throughout his entire career. And we asked him about it at FanFest, and he said all he did really was close his stance a little bit more against left-handers. And he hit 380 with 11 home runs, slugged over 700.
It's amazing. You know, like the golf swing, John, those little adjustments can mean a lot. And Justin found that comfort zone against left-handed pitching. Paid off.
That one's popped up on the right side. Merrifield is there for out number 3. But the Dodgers get a run to tie it at 1 as we head to the top half of the 4th. Baseball Classic, TCU against Vandy at 10:30, followed by the annual local matchup. It's UCLA against USC at 3 o'clock. For tickets, Dodgers.com/classic. You can see Jerry representing the UCLA colors. Got the USC colors right here. These shirts can be yours. Check out the Dodger Stadium Baseball Classic Sunday. Trojans, Bruins.
This fits me, man. I get to keep this, right?
I think so. I think we're good.
Utley and manager Dave Roberts, former UCLA Bruins, starred there. Should be a fun event at Dodger Stadium.
So Kenta Maeda winds up going 3 innings. They were hoping to get 4 out of him. Pitch count was at 51, so Ross Stripling will take over here in the 4th. At some point, we will see Kenley Jansen today for the first time in Cactus League. Tyler Collins chops one foul, 0-1. Ross Stripling, another one of those guys who was sick from that norovirus. Said it was the sickest he had been in his life for about 36 hours. But he's back feeling well.
I remember a few years back, I believe it was 2009, when a lot of players were hit with that swine flu. That was not fun.
I imagine. Third outing of the spring for Stripling. Has made 1 start. He's pitched well. He's not given up any runs in his 3 innings of work.
Well, Ross is one of those guys that you'd love to have in your ball club. He could spot start, kind of be a long reliever, and or come in maybe in the 7th inning and get that one dominant right-handed batter out. Never complains, always prepared.
Willing to take on any role, whatever the team needs. There's the 1-2. Lifted to left. Matt Kemp is there. 1 away. Stripling, I was wondering how he did in Fantasy Bachelor. There was all that drama, Jerry, about how the Bachelor ended up with Ari Lyondike, race car driver, proposing to one and then breaking things off and going back. I know way too much about it. I'm already giving up too much. But he plays Fantasy Bachelor.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's one of his things.
I've heard about that show Bachelor, but I don't really partake in watching that.
It's another fly ball, this one to right. Trace Thompson. 5 pitches, 2 outs for Ross Stripling here in the 4th.
Never really understood that. If you're going to go out and date some women, or on the flip side, if you're a woman dating men, why would you want that out in the open? I mean, put it your whole life for millions to watch. I don't get that. I guess to each his own.
Yeah, some people just love the publicity. It's a strike, 0-1 to Cheslor Cuthbert. Strikeout victim. Kenta Maeda punched him out.
Cheslor, wasn't one of those first nights with Sean Connery, and who's that that good-looking guy back in the 80s?
I don't know. If he wasn't, it should have been with a name like Cheslor.
Richard Gere, that was that guy. Richard Gere and Sean Connery. That was a really good movie. Cheslor, I think, was one of the, him and Lancelot.
We have Cheslor facing Chicken Strip right now.
It's the show.
Players Weekend nickname. His teammates with Michael Waka, Texas A&M. Ross Stripling actually threw a no-hitter while he was at Texas A&M against my alma mater, San Diego State.
And I believe Ross Stripling's first big league knock was against Waka.
It certainly was. He got the better of him that night, and Waka had to buy him dinner while they were in town. This is downstairs. It's 2-2 to Cuthbert. Stripling only has one other hit in his career. Got the one against Waka and one off Shelby Miller. He's 2 for 24. Shelby Miller's another Texas guy that he knows really well. He just likes to get knocks off his friends. Well, all 3 outs going to be via the fly ball. 3 different outfielders as Jock Peterson puts that one away. It's a 1-2-3-4 for Ross Stripling. 1-1 tie here at Camelback Ranch. There, Jay Hare. Pink sparklies. Got the shades on. Swinging her stuffed animal.
Little baby tiger right there. Speaking of Tiger Woods.
Had himself a day.
Pretty good start there in Florida. Top of the leaderboard.
Matt Kemp leads it off for the Dodgers here in the bottom half of the 4th. First pitch swinging. Slow tapper up along the third base line. Cuthbert's throw not in time. Matt Kemp is an infield single.
If you're wondering if Matt Kemp is in shape, just watch him run right here, able to, we call a swinging bunt here. Doesn't make the best of contact. It'll hustle out an infield knock.
Brian Flynn's like, really another?
The chin to pocket, chin to pocket.
Getting down that line.
Is that Usain Bolt running down the line? Or maybe that's a stretch there.
Stole 40 bases in 2011. I know that's 7 years ago and several injuries ago. But he was 1 home run away from being a 40-40 guy that year in 2011. Yasmani Grandal turning around, hitting from the right side against the left-hander Brian Flynn. Quickly behind 0-2. Speaking of Matt Kemp, Grandal came to the Dodgers. And the Dodgers traded Matt Kemp to the Padres. Now teammates. Grandal hitting right behind him. Down he goes, though, on 3 pitches for out number 1 here in the 4th.
It's always cool to talk to or even play with guys that you were traded for. I know I was traded for Sammy Sosa right before the 05 season, that we were teammates in 07 with the Rangers. Had a few laughs about that. I always remind Sammy had a better year after we were traded.
Power for power.
Power for power. He did have a better career, though. I'll give him that. Slamming Sammy.
Boy, that summer with him and Mark McGwire and that home run chase.
You know, I was coming up in the Orioles organization, and a lot of people forget after that strike in '94, baseball was in dire straits. Cal Ripken, Ken Griffey Jr., Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, those four guys really brought back the fans back to the ballparks, and players should appreciate that.
The 1-0 to Forsyth. It's outside 2-0.
You know, Big Mac was our hitting coach here in 13 when I was on the ball club, and I would remind him of that, and he was so humble about it. He goes, no, I remember. You know, that home run streak he had with Sammy was something special.
That was lifted to the right side. Merrifield on the outfield grass has it for out number 2. There's Jock Peterson coming up. Jock struck out his first time up. It's the right-hander Barlow. Now he'll face a lefty.
You know, Jock Peterson facing a left-handed pitcher. I remember his rookie year. The year he competed in that home run derby, he had a couple months where he was hitting a lot of balls to left center field, staying on baseball, especially against left-handed pitching. Hopefully he finds this swing in this at bat.
Snap throw to first. Matt Kemp is back.
And when a left-handed batter's up at the box facing a lefty, you want to have that as your sights. It makes you keep that front shoulder in.
Catches the corner. 0-1. Let's chop to the right side. Lucas Duda will take it himself. Dodgers get a leadoff single from Matt Kemp. Then nothing. We are tied at 1 through 4, heading to the 5th here at Camelback Ranch. And by BMW. See a Southern California BMW Center today for exceptional offers, or visit SoCalBMW.com. Go to the 5th here at Camelback Ranch. Dodgers and Kansas City Royals knotted at 1. Ross Stripling back to the mound for his 2nd inning of work. Facing Nicky Lopez, lead things off.
Royals are very high on Lopez. Really good actions he shows at shortstop, can run a little bit and swing the bat.
Catches the zone, 1-1. Ross Stripling, 47 appearances out of the pen last year, only made 2 starts. A couple of good signs with him last year. His strikeouts per 9 innings pitched went up to 9 after 6.7 in 2016, and his walks per 9 went down. Two and 2 to Lopez.
Well, cut fastball there by Ross Stripling. Kind of tied him up a little bit. 2-1 count. Just under the hands. Good pitch.
Here's the 2-2. That is a cold strike 3. Painted the fastball on the outside corner for out number 1.
That's what you call pitching. Great fastball command, perfect pitch. Previous pitch, cutter in on the hands, got him thinking inside, go back outside with that fastball, freeze him.
Took the young Nicky Lopez to school there. There's Drew Butera. The ball is hit well to left field. Matt Kemp. That's Andrew Toles actually turning and watching it go. Solo shot for Drew Butera has given the Kansas City Royals a 2-1 lead.
Got called out on strikes in his first at bat here, hunting that first pitch fastball, gets it inner half. Pretty good swing there by Drew Butera. Hits about 370 feet. Don't have the launch angle or exit velo on that though. Spring training.
I don't think we need it. We could tell that one was hit hard and far. The Royals reclaim the lead here in the top of the 5th. And here's Nick Deeney. Singled back in the 3rd. It was the first run Ross Stripling has allowed this spring.
You know, after that quick strikeout he had of that young shortstop for the Royals, you have a veteran like a Drew Butera hunting that first pitch. You can figure if you're a pitcher, get that first strike. But Booty didn't let him do that. Ambush.
Popped him up. The foul ground. Yasmani Grandal is there. 2 away. Dodgers haven't been able to solve Whit Merrifield yet today. Homer to lead off the game. Sharp single his last time up. It's 2 for 2.
It's so hard to find good, productive leadoff hitters now in the big leagues. And looks like the Royals have their guy.
The Royals, they have
Escobar has been their guy leading off.
Yeah.
As Escobar gets older, you know, probably wise to kind of slide him down the order. Maybe bat him 2nd, occasionally 5th.
I mentioned the Royals. They re-signed Moustakas yesterday. Signed John Jay, the free agent, recently. Picking up some late bargains, if you will, because the way the free agent market has taken shape. Adding them to Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon, the veteran guys who are probably playing at home and not traveling in the split squad game.
A lot of fans wonder why they have, you know, a lot of split squad games. Is for make sure you have your young guys get enough at bats. You want to see these guys get 30 to 45 at bats in spring training, and
2-1 to Merrifield.
and
2-2.
Split squad games allow that to happen. You know the veteran guys at home. You already know what they can do. You get these young guys out here. And maybe there's some scouts here watching these young guys play, facing big league pitching, and gaining experience.
Merrifield and Bonifacio really the only two regulars making the trip over here. The Lucas Duda and Michael Saunders are going to get a lot of playing time, with Eric Hosmer and Lorenzo Cain gone.
And those are two big losses, not just from a production standpoint with Cain and Hosmer. Those two guys were leaders in that clubhouse with the Royals.
But credit the Royals organization for turning around and signing Moustakas, even though they had to get him at a much lower price, and not giving up like some of the other teams are doing and rebuilding. It's a hot shot, one hopper to short. The throw to first, not able to be dug out by Chase Utley. It's an error on Solano. And that's going to keep the inning alive.
Merrifield, even though he hits this on the screws, as an infielder, you're very aware of his speed. He gets out of the box very well. I'm sure Solano saw him hustling down that line. Utley unable to come up with the scoop.
That extends the inning for Michael Saunders.
And if you're Solano, you know it's 2 outs. You're hoping, even though it's spring training, you're hoping that Stripling kind of picks you up and gets out of this inning.
See if Merrifield decides to take off. With 2 outs, get into scoring position. Saunders takes a strike, 0-1.
Merrifield with that aggressive lead out there at first base. Kind of flinched, act like he was going. Trying to read Stripling.
Stripling chases him back. Kansas City Royals, they won the World Series in 2015. They were a 500 team, 81 and 81 the following year. 2 games under 500 last year. There he goes. Pitch is popped up into foul ground. Edwin Rios runs out of room.
Merrifield had a pretty good jump from first base. Thought he had that base stolen. Now if you're Ross Stripling, you have the hitter 0-2. There's 2 outs. Focus on getting the hitter here.
Facing Saunders, the 31-year-old out of British Columbia. There goes Merrifield. The throw, and they got him. Boy, a one hopper right on the bag from Grandal. Solano applies the tag, and Stripling gets out of the inning.
Great job by Yaz. Bang, bang play. You're out.
2-1 Royals heading to the bottom of the 5th. Dodgers down 2-1 to the Kansas City Royals. A couple of solo home runs for the Royals today, one by Whit Merrifield and also by Drew Butera. This is Kyle Zimmer taking over on the mound for Kansas City. 26-year-old making his first appearance of the spring, coming off shoulder surgery last year. A fastball that catches the inner part of the plate. 0-1 to Trace Thompson, singled his first time up. Fouled away.
Trace Thompson off to a pretty good start here in spring training, looking for that bounce back season. Has all the tools, plays all three outfield positions. And is also out of options. So if he has to, either he makes the team or maybe playing elsewhere.
It's not a terrible spot for him to be in if he has a good spring. He can't be sent down to the minors by the Dodgers, and another team could pick him up, possibly on their big league roster.
Very rare you really kind of have a chance to control your destiny here. You have a great spring, got a chance to be in the show with somebody, if not the Dodgers.
And barring injury, let's be honest, he's going to be most likely a victim of the numbers game. It's a crowded outfield. Just don't have enough spots available for everybody. Grounds one foul.
And I try to tell young guys all the time, you know, when you're playing for your particular team, you're also playing for the 29 other teams. And you represent yourself, and it's about having a long career. You know, some guys play with 3 or 4 different teams, some guys play for 9 different teams. That's just how the way it goes.
That one's popped up. The foul ground. Butera comes back but runs out of room. Butera showing off the show flow there, Jay Hare.
A little bit of a buzz lower cut there with the beard. Feel a little froggy after hitting that bomb. Making sure that face gets some TV time on that pop-up. Throw the mask away.
Sounds like something you would do.
He's a vet.
That's why you didn't play catcher, right? Wearing a mask all the time?
Absolutely.
He's lifted to center field. Tyler Collins has it for the out, one away.
That, and I didn't like collisions, John. Back in the day when I played in the late 70s, the base runner coming down third base, they had free reign at the catcher. I don't want those collisions.
So I'm surprised that you box now, or you just box against someone else and they're not allowed to hit you.
No, I box against prize fighters, so they know how to punch and punch at 60, 70%. If I'm just going to go up and box somebody who doesn't really know what they're doing, they hit me, you know, square at 100%. It could be good night, Jay Hare.
Good night for your face. You always say protect the face.
I do that.
Donovan Solano singled his first time up. Six for 17 now this spring. So if you're a guy like Donovan Solano, what are you trying to accomplish here? Same thing as a Trace Thompson, get noticed by one of the other teams, because he's not going to be in the mix for a big league roster spot right away.
Well, kind of have that type of camp CT3 had last year, Charlie Culberson as well. You always perform. When you have a bat in your hand in the batter's box in big league games, a lot of scouts are watching. You may not make this ball club, but there are other ball clubs that could use your services. Go out there, control what you can control, and really perform well.
As we had mentioned earlier, he does have 5 seasons of big league experience. Not full seasons, but at least parts of 5 different seasons.
I remember in the Orioles in 2004, we had a young kid by the name of Jose Batista. Kind of bounced around a little bit, and he figured, I have no chance to make this ball club. And we used to tell him, hey, go out there, perform well, somebody will get you. Pirates able to get him, had a couple pretty good years there. Then he went to Toronto and exploded.
Became Joey Batflip. Good job waiting on that pitch. Lines it over the shortstop's head into left field for a 1-out single.
You can see that Solano knows how to handle the bat here. A breaking ball sits up there. We call it a hanger. Gets the foot down. The hands are back. Fires his hands. Really good swing.
You got the Led Zeppelin playing in the background. We know Chase Utley coming to the plate. And excuse me, check swing RBI single last time up. Got the Dodgers tied for the time being. Not afraid to wear a pitch or two, Jerry. He led all of baseball in getting hit by pitches 3 years in a row from 2007 to 2009. He's hit 76 times over that 3-year span.
One of the tougher guys I've got a chance to see him play against.
You can see 199 times. One away from a milestone moment.
Is that a milestone?
He would consider it a milestone.
That he would.
A badge of honor to be hit 200 times. Has guys throw behind his head, behind him. Unfazed.
Last year in New York, I believe, or maybe the year
2 years ago.
Yeah, the year before last. Throw behind him. Proceeds to hit a bomb after that.
Noah Syndergaard threw a pitch behind him.
Then
Responded with a solo homer and then hit a grand slam. Same game.
It's amazing when you wake up great players, even though if they're a little older in age, you wake them up, they will answer the call. Kind of like Kobe Bryant, his last game. He knew that would be his last game. I'm putting up shots, 60 points.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Just misses 2-2.
Speaking of Kobe Bryant, you ever get a chance to see him swing a bat?
In a softball game.
Swings from the left side.
Right.
Really good swing.
Yeah.
Ken Griffey-esque.
I think the few times I've seen him swing a golf club, I think it was also from the left side.
I mentioned when we talk about Kobe Bryant, do we have to mention Oscar winner Kobe Bryant?
You should.
Pretty good accomplishment there.
5 NBA championships and an Oscar on the resume.
Kobe being Kobe. Speaks about what, 12 languages? Spanish, Italian, a little bit of French, I believe.
That's 4. Where they had him leaning. And they call him out. Donovan Solano looked like he was going to take off for a second on the 3-2 pitch. Tried to get back. And Duda got the tag down.
And you anticipate sometimes the pitcher, you may have him on a count 1-1,000, 2-1,000 go. Anticipate him going to the plate. Got caught.
So now 2 outs, nobody on. Count full to Utley. And it's a 2-out walk. We'll bring Corey Seager to the plate. He struck out, grounded into a double play. Chase Utley's work for this afternoon is done. After his 3 plate appearances, Rob Segedin pinch running for Utley.
Corey Seager up at the plate here. If this was a regular season game here, 2-out walk right there ahead of him. Looking for that first pitch fastball right here. The Dodgers, you talk about the Royals farm system a couple years ago. The Dodgers farm system had produced Corey Seager, Cody Bellinger, 2 young up-and-coming superstars.
Pitch is down 2-0 to Seager. Corey, of course, missed the NLCS, not with the elbow issue, but with a back. He hurt in Game 3 of the division series against the Diamondbacks. Charlie Culberson filled in and hit .455. A couple doubles and a triple in that series against the Cubs. And Seager came back the World Series. Hit that home run in Game 2. One of the great reactions we saw all year. You rarely see that from Corey. Cut on and missed, 2-1.
And it was going the other way.
Yes,
opposite field home run. He knew it as soon as he hit it. A little lean back. Nice little yell by Corey Seager.
Broke a 1-all tie in the 6th inning in that game. Gave the Dodgers a 3-1 lead. The Astros came back. Won a wild Game 2. 3-1 to Seager.
Just got that Cal Ripken look about him. Always even keeled. Doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. Steady Eddie.
He's heard the Cal Ripken comparisons for a while. It's ball 4, so back-to-back 2-out walks here in the 5th.
I know Dale, I just mentioned Dale coming out, making the change, something you hate to see, even though you're the interim manager for the day. Get 2 quick outs, then 2 walks. Can't happen.
Dale Swaim, the acting manager. Ned Yost over at the home ballpark for the Royals today on the split squad day. Kyle Zimmer's day is done. Tell you about the new pitcher when we come back. It's 2-1 Kansas City here in the bottom of the 5th. One and 2 out here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. And Andrew Tolles making his way to the plate for his first at bat of the day, hitting in what was Justin Turner's spot. Tolles first ball swinging. That is a hot shot past Lopez into left center. That will score Seguin, and they will hold Corey Seager at 3rd. We are tied at 2. Let's take a look at the Cardinals cam replay here, Jerry. We know Andrew Tolles likes to holler at the first pitch. Wasted no time.
And that ball is scalded right there. Has to be ruled a base hit. Shortstop had no chance. Tough hop by him. Another clutch knock from Andrew Tolles.
Once again helping his cause, trying to win a spot on the opening day roster. It's his 8th hit of the spring. 21 at-bats. Here's Edwin Rios. Lifted foul, back to the screen. Edwin Rios, 24 home runs last year between Tulsa and Oklahoma City, 27 home runs the year before. There goes the runner. Tolles is called out at second base. Wow. Dan Bellino punches out Andrew Tolles trying to swipe second.
I don't know about this call here. From up here, he looks safe. I know about 100 yards away.
Throw the challenge flag. That's what Jay Hare would say. We are tied at 2.
Come on, Danny. He was safe.
Is your
start of spring training. Plus behind the scenes with Matt Kemp as he rejoins the squad in Arizona. A new season of Backstage Dodgers premieres Wednesday right after our post-game show on Sportsnet LA. Tony Cingrani seeing his first Cactus League action this spring. Did pitch in a B game on Monday, just like Kenley Jansen did. They were extra cautious with him, had some shoulder tightness early in camp. Here he is.
You got to remember, it's still early in camp. It's just March 9th. You know, these guys will get plenty of work on the backfields if need be, getting a couple games here before the season.
There's a strike 1-1. You saw the difference in those numbers between his time in Cincinnati, an ERA of 5.4. Cut that almost in half with the Dodgers, down to 2.79. His strikeout rate went way up with the Dodgers. It's 2-1.
Yeah, if you want to get your ERA down, don't pitch in Cincinnati or Colorado. Great hitters ballparks.
Great American small park in Cincinnati.
Every ballpark should be like Cincinnati, John.
For the hitters, right?
Absolutely.
Swing and a miss by Saunders. It's 2-2. Cingrani pitched well in the postseason, also in 7 games, allowed just 1 run. Whatever was wrong with him in Cincinnati, the Dodgers were able to fix him. Count goes full here, 3-2.
And these are the guys he would be facing during the season. You got the lefty Saunders, and on deck Lucas Duda. Got to take advantage of these 2 hitters.
And after him, Tyler Collins, so 3 lefties in a row against Cingrani. Saunders goes the other way, grounds it to Edwin Rios across the diamond to Rob Segedin for out number 1.
Talk about versatility. We saw Rios last night get in the game, play first base. Here now playing third base. Shows he's got a good glove, excellent power, really good prospect.
Here's Lucas Duda, 0 for 2 today. Cingrani Go back to his college days. He went to a junior college out of high school and transferred to Rice. In his junior year, he had an ERA of 8.5 as a starter. Said he felt like he let the team down. They had expectations of him and that he just didn't produce. So he went to the coach's office after the season and asked them, "Do you all even want me back?" That's what he said to the coach. The coach said, "Of course we want you back. I think we can help you." They made some mechanical adjustments that summer, moved him to the bullpen, had a great senior year, and was drafted in the 3rd round out of Rice by the Reds in 2011. And the Reds had him starting games early in his career. Went back to the bullpen. That's where he's thriving at the moment.
And it's good to see that he showed that maturity even in college as a young man. You know, you didn't have the season that he thought he could have, and he went to the coaches and said, "What can I do to get better?" And he took their advice, got better, and that's what it's about. You're not going to have great season every year. You got to make adjustments.
Count goes 2-2 on Lucas Duda. Cingrani now 28 years of age. Just outside of Chicago, to high school in New Lenox.
I knew I loved him for a reason.
Just misses inside, 3-2.
You know, I talking to another Chicago guy, Mark Mulder, a couple days ago. He was a really good first baseman out of high school. Could hit for a lot of power. But he realized in college, even though he got a couple hits, his meal ticket was the mound. And he told the coaches, "Hey, listen, I'll hit every once in a while, but I think I could help you guys better." And the coaches agreed on the mound if I focus on pitching. And he did just that. Drafted by the A's, and the rest is history. Terrible golfer, by the way.
Not so much. What is he, a scratch, maybe a +2?
We don't talk about that.
It's a walk to Lucas Duda with 1 out. If you wouldn't let your pride get in the way, you'd actually let him give you strokes per side. You wouldn't lose all your money to him.
I'm not giving a guy that I grew up with, what, 15 miles away, same grade, no strokes. Either
You're not going to take strokes from him?
No, I don't want him. I'm going to be a man about it, man to man. Got him.
Nice pickoff move by Cingrani. They get Duda, and the tag placed on by Donovan Solano for out number 2 here in the 6th. You don't figure Lucas Duda's going to do any running there.
But, you know, you talk about ambushing a pitcher when you're at the plate.
Ambush a base runner.
This is what Cingrani did to Lucas Duda here. Everybody in the world, including Duda, knows I ain't going anywhere. So Duda, he's going to go to the plate. Got him.
Tyler Collins fouls one off. Cingrani and Scott Alexander, those will be the 2 left-handers in the Dodgers bullpen. As they decide to keep a third, we at least know those 2 are set.
We're talking about pickoff moves. You know, our young guy Urias, hopefully we'll see him later on this season. At a young age, able to know that. Pick a lot of guys off, catch guys at first base, napping, get easy outs that way.
I think the other 29 teams would argue that Julio Urias balks a lot, but it's not a balk if it doesn't get called. See, every time that he picks somebody off, the other team's complaining.
Well, when you're getting picked off, you're going to complain.
Absolutely. Here's the 1-2. It goes to 2-2 on Tyler Collins.
Played against Andy Pettitte for many years with the Orioles. He was with the Yankees, and I thought he balked every time. Then when he became my teammate, I thought it was a great move.
It's popped foul.
It's all about perspective.
Who's your teammate? Dave Roberts said he's going to use matchups to determine who his 7th and 8th inning guys will be. Tell her unless they determine. It's a foul pop. Kyle Farmer makes the catch for out number 3 here in the 6th. Kansas City still hanging on. We're 2-2 ties. We head to the bottom of the 6th. Greatest sports moment of my life.
I was 12 years old, rooting for the A's that night.
I'm sorry. I remember walking out of the stadium that night, saying to my friends, and we have Oral Hershiser going tomorrow.
Yeah.
We're going to be up 2-0.
Isn't that something?
When before that swing by Gibson, I don't think a lot of Dodger fans really gave them gave much of a chance really in that series. And so many injury issues.
And best believe the Dodger players were saying after the home run, we got Oral Hershiser going tomorrow. We're going to be up 2-0.
Here's Edwin Rios. He was at the plate when Andrew Toles was cut down trying to steal second base to end the 5th. Strike 2 and 2. Andres Machado. Lined into left center. That's going to get down for a base hit. The leadoff single for Rios.
Love that approach there by Rios. It's something up in the zone, doesn't try to pull it, stays inside the baseball here. They try to come in. Ball's outer third, stays on the baseball. Leadoff base hit.
Here's Kyle Farmer. Having a really good spring. It's a strike 0-1. He's trying to put his name into the mix as well for that final roster spot. A lot of people assume it'll be Jock Peterson or Andrew Toles. There's some talk that Farmer is being considered as well with his versatility. That's a fly ball to deep left field. Anderson Miller back, looks up, it is gone. Kyle Farmer has his second home run of the spring, a 2-run shot, giving the Dodgers a 4-2 lead. His tremendous spring continues.
Really not much doubt about this one off the bat. You get a fastball up in the zone right here, pulls his hands in, great extension, a bomb. Heads up, incoming. I know they're having a nice time out there under the tents. Now you get a souvenir.
That was loud as well. but always been able to swing the bat. First pitch to Forsythe is a strike.
You know, sometimes that's a forgotten tool, being able to swing the bat. You need guys on your bench that you know is going to give you good at-bats.
Worked so hard in the offseason to loosen up the hips. Just a little too tight. He's realizing when he watched Yasmani Grandal and Austin Barnes behind the plate that he couldn't get into certain positions that they were able to get into. All the Pilates and the stretching has helped him defensively. He says it's helped him offensively as well, and we have seen that, hitting over 500 this spring now with a couple home runs, a couple doubles. 2-2 to Forsythe.
And that flexibility can also help you in the field when you're playing third base. Maybe asked to play first base every once in a while.
Kyle Farmer played some quarterback in high school. And Forsythe, a line shot to left field. Right at Miller, though, for out number 1. Kyle Farmer was actually in the movie The Blind Side. Did you know that?
Is that right?
Had a cameo. A friend of his, he was playing high school football in Atlanta. A friend of his asked him if he would have an interest in trying out for a role in the movie. And the role in the movie was to play a high school quarterback. Didn't have any lines. Didn't get paid.
Did he get a chance to throw some passes?
That he did. He met Sandra Bullock. He said that was pretty cool. But he's not just a catcher. He played shortstop at University of Georgia. The Dodgers made him a catcher, so he can play different positions. We've seen that.
I'm sure the Dodgers scouts saw him in The Blind Side and say, this kid has a face for Hollywood. Let's get him to LA.
Here's Jock Peterson. Count 2-0. He's 0 for 2 today, a strikeout and a ground out to first.
Should be a good matchup here for Jock Peterson. Machado loves his fastball, sometimes tries to overpower the batter.
Good rip, fouls it back. 2-1.
You know, Jock loves that fastball.
It will be interesting to see how it all shakes out. A little less than 3 weeks till opening day. Will Jock be on that opening day roster?
A lot of tough decisions to be made coming weeks.
That one's popped up on the left side in foul territory. Cuthbert. It's a leaping catch on the track for the second out. You guys have talked about the sky in Arizona. These spring games can be difficult.
You know, we call it the high sky, not a cloud in the sky. It could be difficult. He's got his shades behind his head. I don't know what that serves. Could he use his shades there? But he made the play.
Got it done.
It's that new school. I like the shades on top of the hat, and then you could quickly put them on, and if need be.
1-0 to Trace Thompson. They're on the back of the hat. Even better.
Remember asking Andrew Jones when he was with the Braves. I think he used to do that a couple times, and I asked him, why are they behind your head? The Braves had in their system, they said you cannot have your shades hide the logo of the hat. Maybe the Royals have that same rule.
Maybe they do. Do not hide the crown on their hat. One and two to Trace. That's called strike 3. To end the bottom of the 6th, but Kyle Farmer gives the Dodgers their first lead of the day. A 2-run blast to left field. 4-2 Los Angeles as we head to the 7th. Here at Camelback Ranch, Jock Peterson, Logan Forsythe, their work is done for the day. Heading in for a quick shower. Maybe a little time to squeeze in 9 holes somewhere locally here, Jay.
Definitely pitchers do that. Try to get 9, maybe 18. These guys probably going to work out. Position players, they like to get their weightlifting on and go out with the family. Nice dinner.
Mark Lowe is the new pitcher for the Dodgers here in the 7th inning. Had a rough go of it this spring in 3 games. Allowed 8 runs. Jorge Bonifacio leading it off for Kansas City. How's the show chain register there?
That's probably about an 8 right
About
there.
An 8. They'll get better as he gets more established. It was his rookie year last year.
It was. He hit 17 bombs right there, so you know he's strong. You know, he definitely has a strong neck to kind of support that show chain. But as his bank account gets bigger, the chain will get bigger.
There's the 1-1. Misses upstairs, 2-1.
Another name that's fun to pronounce, Bonifacio. Sounds like a big league name.
Good 2-1 pitch there from Mark Lowe. It's 2-2.
And that's what Lowe needs to do, be able to change speeds when you're behind the count. You know, coming up, he was a power pitcher, really relied on that fastball. Now the velocity's gone down a little bit, but now you got to really pitch. Do that 2-1 combo.
See what he does here. 2-2. Bonifacio holds up. Count goes full.
As a hitter, you're thinking if he threw it 2-2, you won't be afraid to throw it 3-2.
It was lifted foul down the right field line. Long run for Diaz. It's a nice running catch. Yusniel Diaz, the nickname is Juice, makes a nice running catch there. He also won the fashion show this morning, Jerry, the best cowboy getup.
Is that right? Well, yeehaw to Diaz. Great running catch. Not so easy. We talk about that high sky. Had a long way to run. Probably running about 60 yards right there to make that play. Great concentration.
On the cowboy fashion show, dare we say he was on his horse there to make a nice catch.
I see what you did there.
This ball swinging there is Cuthbert. Skies it into center field. DJ Peters, who finished 2nd in the cowboy fashion show, has it for the 2nd out.
I guess that's what they're doing nowadays. The fashion show. Back when I played, John, we used to like the American Idol, X Factor, make these young guys sing and dance. We wanted to be entertained, but now they got the fashion show, and hopefully we'll see some footage of that.
I'd like to see footage of you singing it, but actually I don't. I've heard you sing. Ground ball to 2nd. Jake Peter throws out Nicky Lopez. It's a nice 7th inning for Mark Lowe. It is stretch time here in Glendale, Arizona. Dodgers with a 4-2 lead on the Royals. Your tickets to Dodgers opening day with a 2018 mini plan. Enjoy this season filled with rivalry matchups, plus great promotional games featuring fan favorites like bobbleheads, kids giveaways, and Friday night fireworks. Visit Dodgers.com/mini plans. Bottom of the 7th inning, Tim Hill is the new pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. 28-year-old left-hander. He's not allowed to run this spring. You're facing Donovan Solano. Today's attendance at Camelback Ranch, 10,594. They've already announced a sellout for tomorrow's night game against the Chicago Cubs. And I asked this question, Jerry, in all seriousness. How many Marlins games will have 10,594 fans this year?
I'm going to say 0. Even on opening night in Miami. Probably around 7,000.
I'll give them opening night and maybe the final game of the year. Fan appreciation. The other 79, it'll be hard for them to come up with that.
Well, it depends who they're playing, too.
That's true.
If they're playing the Cubs in Miami.
Cubs and Dodgers are in town.
Yeah, they'll have fans there. Cubs, Dodgers, if the Yankees are playing them in interleague play.
It's going to be a tough draw this year.
Not just the Marlins, the Rays would be a tough watch, too.
1-2 to Solano. Well, this Tim Hill doesn't look like he'd be a very comfortable at bat for a left-hander.
Sammy
Long,
Sidewinder.
lanky Sidewinder. Slapped foul. Look out. Count holds 2-2.
We got our grounds crew over there. We'll duck out of the way. Those are the type of line drives you see at the major league level. Kids can get hurt. That's why they extended that netting.
Gets a piece, fights it off. This is a little bit different, though, at spring camp this year. No Adrian Gonzalez, no Andre Ethier, and Matt Kemp is back.
It's
strange,
amazing, isn't it? Matt Kemp hitting home runs for the Dodgers and Tiger Woods on the leaderboard. What year is this?
What year is this? Count goes full on Solano. Matt Kemp still has his legion of fans to break out the jerseys again. Leadoff walk for Solano here in the bottom of the 7th. Rob Segedin getting his first at-bat of the day. He's only had 2 at-bats this spring after having off-season surgery, fusion of 2 bones in his right wrist. It's a strike 0-1.
I always loved Rob Segedin, the bat in his hands. Just has a plan, has an idea. Hits left-handed pitching.
We remember last year what a great spring he had. He worked so much on cleaning up his bat path during the offseason and tore it up in the spring and strained his big toe early in the season. Then he was rehabbing here in Camelback in May, and he injured the wrist. He had surgery to remove bone spurs, and he had to have that surgery again over the winter, having the fusion of those 2 bones.
We'll never forget that night at Dodger Stadium. It's a home run off of Madison Bumgarner, and they got to tell him to get off the field because his wife is going into labor.
Yeah.
Something that is this kid will never forget.
Called strike 3 on Segedin. First out here in the 7th. And his wife had actually gone into labor the day before. He homered that day in Cincinnati while his wife was in labor. She was still in labor the next day. They're back in Los Angeles. Hits the home run off of Madison Bumgarner. He was pulled later in that game. Was able to race to the hospital and be there for the birth of his son Robinson. Alex Verdugo.
A few years back, Seguin was at a crossroads. Should he continue playing? He thought about quitting, but his wife really got in his face, said, "You are not quitting. You're going to continue to play."
And he was drafted by his favorite team, his hometown New York Yankees. He was in the organization and he thought about quitting. He was playing AAA. They sent him down to AA.
Sometimes you have to have perseverance, not just in this sport, but in life.
1-2 on Verdugo. Traded Ronald Torreyes to the Yankees. It's fun to see Torreyes and Aaron Judge on the same team.
Torreyes, what, about 5'3"?
Maybe. I think that trade's worked out for both guys. Torreyes getting a chance to play in New York. Seguin has advanced his career here with the Dodgers. That's a called strike 3 on Alex Verdugo. So back-to-back punch-outs looking by Tim Hill.
Wow. That may have been a little bit outside. Verdugo didn't like it. But as you get in the later in these spring training games, the zones get wider and wider, and these hitters need to understand that. It's not fun as a hitter.
Here's Andrew Toles. Line bat hop single past the shortstop Nicky Lopez. An RBI single his last time up. Chops one. That's foul ball. Foul ball. 0-2 on Toles. Now 25 years of age, out of Georgia.
A little bit of a defensive hack right there. Emergency hack. Just gets foul. Got another chance.
Here's the 0-2 pitch from Hill. This is downstairs. Toles was making $7.50 an hour when he was working at the grocery store. He's doing a little better now.
Moving on up.
It's the other way, fouls it off.
The count was always there. Andrew Friedman had him in the Rays system when he was over there. Now gets a second chance here with the Dodgers, making the most of it.
2-2 to Toles. And it's not like he was working at that grocery store for very long. It was less than a month. He got that email from Gabe Kapler and asked if he had any interest playing in the Dodgers Instructional League. Took him up on the offer, and here he is. Staying alive.
I remember playing in college in the Cape Cod League. You'd have these odd jobs. I was a produce boy, John. You know, putting together the strawberries, you put that plastic wrapper, then you have the rubber band and those green cartons. I had to do that. That was my job. And listening on the radio to the Red Sox games and listening to Nomar Garciaparra, their stud rookie of the year.
That is fair down the left field line. Andrew Toles has his second hit of the day in his many trips to the plate. It's a 2-out double.
And look at these at-bats Andrew Toles is having. He fought off with some tough pitches. Now he gets a pitch he can handle against a lefty, stays inside the baseball, rifles it past the third baseman for a double. These are at-bats the manager and the brass really take notice of these players. Can they give me good at-bats just about every time? Andrew Toles does just that.
Now has 9 hits this spring.
But to finish my story, John, I was listening to Nomar Garciaparra as a produce boy, and he inspired me to get to the big leagues.
Does he know that? Oh, there's a line shot off the bat of Edwin Rios into center field. 1 run will score. Here comes Toles. 2-run single for Edwin Rios. Dodgers now lead at 6-2.
Watch out right here, right back up the box. Hill able to get his face out of the way. Never want to see that happen, but great approach right there by Rios. 2 RBI knock.
Some breathing room for the Dodgers now. A 4-run cushion. We're going to see Kenley Jansen at some point. His next 2 innings. Here's Kyle Farmer. All he did was hit a 2-run shot his last time up. Takes a strike. Flashback. 6th inning. Gets one up in the zone. Jay Hare drives it out.
I love his stroke right there. Great rhythm and timing, and that barrel release at the very end with that buggy whip. Great swing.
Fouls it off 0-2.
And even though Kyle has that type of power, he is at a young age a professional hitter. We saw him when he first came up. His first big league hit. Great at bat, rifling the ball down the right field line to win the game. They come in, shows the ability to pull the ball. A complete hitter at the plate.
Just misses the outside corner. 1-2. Now 27 years of age. Down he goes to end the 7th inning. The Dodgers get 2 more on the 2-run single by Edwin Rios. It will take a 6-2 lead to the top of the 8th inning here at Camelback Ranch. Go to the top of the 8th inning. This is Adam Liberatore taking over on the mound for the Dodgers. We've been told by the Dodgers PR staff that Kenley Jansen will not be pitching today. We haven't heard exactly why. Kenley laid out his own plans for work this spring, and he had chosen this day to pitch, one other, and then 1 game of the Freeway Series to get ready for opening day. We'll hopefully hear from Dave Roberts after the game about why Kenley decided, or why the decision was made for him not to pitch this afternoon.
I'm sure it's nothing serious with Kenley Jansen. Obviously, he hasn't pitched in a Cactus League game, pitched in a B game on the backfields, but probably something minor.
He did pitch on Monday in the B game on the backfields through 17 pitches. Adam Liberatore starts Drew Butera with a strike. Just missed 1-1. Liberatore's had a great spring. 3 innings, 3 games. He's been perfect. No base runners allowed, 4 strikeouts. Bounce back. Injuries the last couple of seasons.
And really, before his injuries, He was the most reliable left-handed pitcher out of the bullpen. I mean, he was lights out. Hopefully he can regain that form.
The 2-1 to Butera. Was lifted to the right side. Travis Tyrone into the game in right field, makes the catch for out number 1. We were talking about it in 2016, Jerry. Set the franchise record, 24 consecutive scoreless appearances. The ZRA was 0.55 in late July, but in early August, the elbow started barking. Went on the DL, came back, wasn't the same. He had elbow surgery after the season. And then last year had the groin injury in May. And then a short time after that had forearm tightness at the end of that month. Ultimately sidelined him for the rest of the season.
This game is tough enough when you're healthy, but when you're battling injuries, trying to come back, a lot of guys go out there and play hurt, sometimes injured. Not an easy game. Play 162 games in about 184, 85 days. Takes its toll.
He's fallen behind Dini 3-0. He's hoping to be healthy this season. Because when he is healthy, he's proven to be very effective out of the pen, maybe giving the Dodgers a third left-hander.
He's a different type of lefty too. I mean, he comes at the right-handed hitter. He's on the third base side of the rubber. Usually you see the lefties on the first base side, built like a linebacker. Very imposing.
He's back in the count after falling behind 3-0. It's full now to Dini. There's the payoff pitch. It's popped foul.
And if you're a manager like a Dave Roberts, that's what you want to see out of your relief pitchers. Come in there, try to pump in strikes. Behind in the count, 3-0, came back. Now it's 3-2. Make him force his way on with the hit. Can't put him on with the base on ball.
He allows his first base runner of the spring. It's a one-out walk to Nick Dini. Eric Mejia comes to the plate now for the Royals. Tomorrow night, Dodgers and Cubs once again under the lights here at Camelback Ranch. Becoming a little bit of a rivalry, at least a postseason rivalry.
That's a pretty good rivalry. Cubbies, Dodgers.
Especially now with them signing Yu Darvish, signing Brandon Morrow. Teams have beaten each other in the last 2 NLCSs.
It's change up there by Liberatore, got him out. Mejia out in front. Have 0-2 here. You can really expand the zone.
And he does. Gets him swinging with the runner on first. The batter cannot run to the base. So 2 away for the strikeout.
Excellent pitch there by Liberatore. You have a hitter up there, especially a young hitter. Usually they're aggressive, looking to swing the bat. You can get these young hitters to chase.
This is Anderson Miller to the game. Royals reaching deep into their farm system for some of these guys with a split squad game on the road.
Yeah, and I love your book here, John. In the part of the game, in that 8th inning at number 91 into the ball game.
Yeah, he's not even in the book. Their own book. It's the Royals book. He's not even in there.
Probably played short season last year. And I hope he hears this audio too, because goes back and look at his at bat. I'll show you guys. I'll be a big leaguer one day. 2 or 3 years later, might be a major league all-star. You never know. We're rooting for Miller, but not this at bat.
They have a new scoreboard here at Camelback Ranch beyond the fence in right center field. It's blank. He has a uniform, and he has 2 last names.
He didn't even make photo day. Anderson Miller.
Like I said, they're reaching pretty deep to fill out a roster for this split squad game.
Never know. Gotta love this game. Could be a future all-star.
It's 2-2. Looks like he's in high school. I think they just pulled him from local high school here.
Hamilton High. Here in the Phoenix area.
He's actually 23 years of age. Lifts one to right field. See? Look at that.
What happens? He hurt us.
He has just taken Adam Liberatore deep for a 2-run shot.
I blame you,
That's what
John.
we get.
I blame you.
Don't blame me. He wasn't in the Royals' own book. That's what we get. 2-run shot by Anderson Miller makes it a 6-4 game. Coming off Adam Liberatore. I had to go to Baseball Reference since nobody else has any information on him.
Pretty good swing here by Anderson right there. Lefty on lefty, able to stay inside the ball. Look at the kid. Got
Fired
himself
up.
a souvenir in spring training.
So we'll give Anderson Miller his due.
Absolutely.
23 years of age, out of Lexington, Kentucky, and that's how you celebrate. Oh!
Ooh.
Home run souvenir ball. Played his college ball at Western Kentucky. That's all you need to know about Anderson
Probably
Miller.
was a pre-med student too.
It might have been his first at-bat ever in a big league game in spring training. To pop up on the right side. Up Seguin stays with it, has it for the outs. 2 runs across.
Dr. Miller.
6-4 Dodgers lead it. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Whit Merrifield led off the game against Kenta Maeda with a solo home run. Going the other way in the 5th inning, it was tied at 1 until Drew Butera, old friend, going deep, giving the Royals a 2-1 lead. But in the 6th, 2-2 tie until Kyle Farmer, 2-run shot, give the Dodgers the lead. In the 7th inning, Edwin Rios, that line shot nearly took off Tim Hill's head, made it 6-2. It is now 6-4. Dodgers leading it. New pitcher for the Royals, Scott Blewett. Hopefully he's not a closer.
That's got to be a typo, right? Blewett?
Not a typo. There's a kicker for Pittsburgh. I was asking this, and our crack staff came up with the answer. I said I thought there was a place kicker in some college team named Blewett. There was Chris Blewett, former kicker at Pitt, not related. And he blew it there. Walks him on 4 pitches.
You were waiting for that to happen.
He did not blow it by him there.
Those leadoff walks, even in spring training games. Hate to see that. Now you got power hitting DJ Peters at the plate.
Yeah, after Jake Peter just walked. Firm of Peter and Peters here in the bottom of the 8th inning. DJ's got some light tower power.
Great show here as well.
That one's going to get away. Goes to the backstop, allowing Jake Peter to move up to second. Both of these guys, Jake Peter and DJ Peters, having big springs. DJ 7 for 15, a couple homers. Jake Peter 3 home runs.
You know, Dave Roberts was a grinder as a player, well respected, not only as a player but now as a manager. High praise, talking about one of the prospects the Dodgers have here. This young man, DJ Peters, saying this guy will grind his way to the big leagues. He will find a way. You don't say that about A-ball, AA players this early in their careers, but for Dave Roberts to say that, there's something special about this kid.
Fouled off. He said he's going to will himself to the big leagues and stay for a long time. He said he's very intense, plays every day like it's his last, understands his craft, and respects the game. Some high praise from your skipper. He's a local kid out of Glendora. Upstairs 2-1.
I'm sure he grew up a Dodger fan and wants to make the most out of his opportunity, get a chance to play for his hometown team.
Played basketball in high school as well. Said he loved playing basketball. He could post you up, Jerry. 2-2.
I'll give him the post up. He's gonna have to come see me on that arc, though. Steph Curry.
You checked your birth certificate recently? You don't move like you used to, Jerry.
No, I don't.
Just misses 3-2. Went to his first Dodger game at the age of 6. He says he still remembers it to this day. Grandfather introduced him to the Dodgers. Stays alive. Says his favorite Dodger growing up was Sean Green. He remembers that game. He said he was about 6.5 years old when Sean Green hit 4 home runs in Milwaukee.
We are getting old.
Ground ball left side. Go the long way. Get Peters at first. Jake Peter is at second base. Cody Ashe with the play there at third. Yusniel Diaz made that nice running catch earlier. Won the fashion show this morning. Looking good in his boots, his hat. Getting ready to go to the rodeo tonight.
How about complete your day with a bomb here?
Cut on and missed, 0-1.
I think he was just thinking the same thing. I know it's Fashion Week here in Scottsdale, Arizona. Big fashion event tonight. Diaz showing off the boots and the cowboy hat this morning. How about showing off the power?
You're trying to speak it into existence here.
Did it for Cody Bellinger yesterday, didn't we?
Yes, we did. Worked out quite well. Got a hanger. Rips it foul. His eyes lit up on that pitch. His one hit this spring was a home run. It's 0-2.
He does not get cheated at the plate. And when you're Diaz, one of the top prospects in major leagues, get a few at-bats here in camp, and you know you're going to get a lot of at-bats wherever they send you. Try to make the most of these at-bats.
Number 5 in the Dodgers system, according to MLB Pipeline. Dodgers still have a top 10 farm system, despite all the winning, despite graduating players to the majors. Cody Bellinger, Corey Seager, Walker Buehler, Julio Urias. It's 2-2 to Diaz. Nickname is Juice. We all found that out this morning. Blew it. Gets him on a curveball. Strike 3. So 2 down here in the bottom of the 8th.
Pretty good breaking ball right there by Blewett. 12-6 action.
Here's Matt Beattie coming to the plate. Dave Roberts saying before the game he will thin the room either tomorrow or Sunday. The first cuts will be coming down. Dodgers have 63 active players right now in big league camp. Beattie's another kid. Really swings the bat well. He over 320 last year, Double-A. See if he can pick up a 2-out RBI right here. Little tapper back to Blewett. Underhands to first. Nothing doing for the Dodgers in the bottom of the 8th. Go to the 9th. Dodgers with a 6-4 lead over the Kansas City Royals.
There's still time to save.
Go to the top of the ninth. Dodgers with a 2-run lead on the Kansas City Royals. Joining us late, Kenley Jansen not pitching today after all. This was the date they had scheduled for him to make his Cactus League debut. So it's Zach Neal getting the honors here in the ninth, trying to get the final 3 outs. Made 1 appearance this spring. Pitched 2 innings, gave up 3 runs on 5 hits. Billy Burns leading it off for the Kansas City Royals here in the 9th inning. Seen Billy Burns in the past in the big leagues, the Oakland A's. Trying to make it here with the Royals.
Dodgers here. I know it's a spring training game. You want to get that leadoff hitter out here in the 9th.
It's grounded to the right side. Burns can run. He's got himself an infield single.
He's going flying.
I was going to mention when he was with the Oakland A's, that's what he was known for, was his speed.
We talk about speed and how speed kills. This is like a routine grounder to second base. It's not even close. Getting down the line from the left side. Sub-4 speed down the line. That is flying.
The leadoff single for the Royals in the 9th. Hunter Dozier checks in. It's a strike 0-1. Inside, 1-1. Back under the lights tomorrow night. Kenley Jansen will be happy about that. He's talking about we play at 7 o'clock at night. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense. We play so many day games in the spring.
Yeah, a lot of veteran guys gripe about that over the years.
But they just want the sleep.
You want to sleep in.
But also because they do play so many games at night. Get into that routine. Dodgers only playing 4 night games all spring. Under the lights. 2-2 to Hunter Dozier. Interesting to see the home run totals this year, Jerry. It's 7 teams in the National League last year. They hit more than 200 home runs. 7. There were 4 the year before that, and the 6 previous years before that there was 1 combined over 6 years.
I know a lot has been said about the baseballs. I know Nomar Garciaparra has talked about it. The only gripe I have about it is wish these baseballs were around when we were playing. Got a chance to hit those baseballs in the Legends game. Fun to hit.
Yeah, that foul ball you hit, man, that screamed out of the yard. Punch him out. They did. He went. It's a strikeout for Zach Neal, getting Hunter Dozier.
Oh, yeah.
Tied him up.
Close.
Couldn't hold up. So 1 away in the 9th.
Now you're looking for that ground ball to end the ball game here.
He's facing Cody Asher. We've seen him in the big leagues as well. The Phillies. Getting a chance now with the Royals. Kind of like Billy Burns. He starts him with a strike, 0-1. Cody Asher in AAA last year. Some good numbers. Cut on and missed. 0-2. Dodgers looking for their 8th win of Cactus League play. There goes the runner. Burns steals it without a throw, but Cody Ashe is down on strikes for out number 2. So 1 out away. Nicky Lopez going the distance today at short for the Royals, getting his 4th chance to bat. So the dugout's not awfully full for the Royals. How many will they carry for a split squad game?
Not very many. I would say probably 3 or 4.
Grounds 1 to second. Matt Beattie throws him out. And the Dodgers get a win here on Friday afternoon at Camelback Ranch. Zach Neal slams the door in the 9th. Come from behind win for the Dodgers over the Kansas City Royals.
Great win by the Dodgers. I love the way they swung the bats today. Farmer went deep. Toles, again, another great performance, swinging the bat, going the other way. Both his knocks. Really good effort by the entire team.
Final score here at Camelback Ranch. The Dodgers knock off the Kansas City Royals by the final of 6-4. Kenta Maeda got the start for the Blue. Powered by home run by Kyle Farmer. Some clutch hitting as well. We will see you right here on Sportsnet LA tomorrow night as the Dodgers face the Chicago Cubs. 6 p.m. start, a rematch of the NLCS. Stay tuned right now for Access Sportsnet Dodgers.